Smart 24, driving business.
We'll be back from that short commercial break, and of course you're still watching Smart Means Business. I'm Rona Nahabwe, and as we continue to commemorate or celebrate the International Women's Day, let's look at Mary Salih, a woman involved in business, a fashionista, a trainer, who is going to give us an insight on how business as a woman has been for her. And let's look at this clip.
As a country, as you said, they're doing a lot in empowering, which is true. What we are not doing here, we empower, right? You'll give us a training, for example, and they'll bring us here, we'll learn how to use the machines and what have you. Remember, most of these people cannot afford to buy what? A machine. And after the training, that's where it ends. I think digitizing is going to be another language. You know, like with speaking English, you know, or speaking French or this. We have to, everything what we are going to do now is going to be digitized. Everything. Because recently when I was on a flight going, in front of your seat you have a little like television, you know, to watch. But all those buttons, if you don't know how to switch it on, that means the others are going to be watching and you're going to doze off. And you know how long a flight can be. Those small things. These days, even to enter an office, have you realized you have to press a button in order to do what? To enter. Or to, where they have buttons, or you put in a number or something. But some of these ladies do not know, right? So, we are going out of, everything is going to be digitalized. So let's encourage our women, because it's Women's Day, even the men, encourage our children, our women, to take it up seriously. One of the main is finances. One of the main challenge is finances. And the other challenge, some of these women who have gone into business haven't actually got the empowerment like entrepreneurship. Like I told you, I also burnt my fingers because I just jumped into what? Into business. I didn't first do the entrepreneurship training. But now I've got it from so many organizations. I've been called. Uzi has recommended me to so many organizations for this training. So now I know what to do. And also, I think these women, we need to have over a mentoring association where women can go and get mentors and they hold them on their hands. Like you remember in schools, they used to have career guidance. Before you finish your S6, somebody comes and talks to you and gives you an idea of what course to do. So even these ladies or anybody going into business actually needs a mentor.
Okay.
These days we have a lot of ladies who think, because they've all gone to university, and they think that like if you're a tailor, you're a failure, or you didn't go to school. Ladies, there are jobs, don't despise jobs, especially the hands-on jobs, okay? I've realized that I've seen, even during COVID, we had a lot of people who suffered because they were office people, offices were closed, they were not earning salaries. But these people who have those type of jobs, the ones the people in office despise, were busy working and making what? Money, right? And most of these jobs they despise, like cake making, making soap, you know, people now are making teas and what have you, are things you can do in your kitchen. As you work, earn your salary there, you can still do this as a side as a side job, but don't despise any job. In fact, when I'm mentoring my girls, I always tell my girls that there are only two jobs I don't want them to do: prostitution and theft. But all the other jobs, please try. And there's a lot now, there's a lot you can learn and do. And women, let's work and also be able to take care of the family, even though you're married, but you can still help you to take care of the family. But in case bad luck comes, it's not bad luck, but that's the way of life, and you become a widow like me, you can still continue without running to your in-laws. My message to any entrepreneur out there, people, let's stop working on our own. People, let's join associations. There is UZIA, Uganda Small Scales Industry. There is UWIL for women. You can join Chamber of Commerce and try and work with other people. I'll give you a very small example. As I said, I traveled recently. The Ugandans who want to work on our own. We met Madagascans there. For them, they were a cluster, they were a group. Even us, let's try and form clusters and work together, because I went and I was given an order for aprons. Okay, simple aprons. But now if I hadn't trained or worked with Uzi or worked with other women, I was going to find a problem in making those aprons. But now I'm going to collect the women in textiles, and we are going to work together, and we are going to make those aprons together, and those aprons will be exported. And remember, behind us we have those young vulnerable girls. Everybody is going to earn from this from this chain. But what I've realized with Ugandans, we don't want to do teamwork, and that is very dangerous, which our neighboring countries, Tanzania and Kenya, are doing very, very well. So I ask everybody, let's work together and build ourselves and build Uganda together.
We'll be back from that update, and of course, from my key takeaway from that is that digitization is the new language, and we may need to be equipped to know how to use digital services. As we look at our second update in regards to this day, Samla Hanifa will take us through and let us know what we should expect.
Thank you, Rona. Now going to Parliament, we are going to see the women in Parliament. Uganda Women Parliamentary Association. These women want to advocate for a budget that focuses on the technology, science, innovation, equality for women, especially women in the rural areas. According to these MPs, they say, which is very true actually, the rural woman cannot access internet. There is no electricity, first of all, in some parts of the country, especially deep down in those villages. There is no electricity. These guys can't access. Have you ever realized that when power goes off, the internet is really down, even in Kampala here? So what about people who don't have electricity at all? They call on to government to make sure electricity is everywhere, and as well as the internet is everywhere, deep down in the village, to help that rural woman to access these things so that they can develop themselves and develop their businesses as well. Let's take a look and see what they have to say on this very, very point.
8th March 2023 is Equal Opportunities in Education, Science and Technology for Innovation and a Gender Equal Future. The theme emphasizes the need for investment to advance gender equality in innovations, technological change, and education in the digital age, specifically promoting women and girls' participation in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, in bracket STEM, and information communication technologies, in bracket ICTS, as a precursor to their engagement in the digital economy. The national theme further recognizes the emerging gender digital divide and its effects to widening economic and social inequalities of women and girls. This year's International Women's Day celebration shall be celebrated in Chiruhura district, where the National Science, Technology and Engineering Innovation Center, NCTEIC in bracket, is being constructed. We urge you to join the rest of the world to commemorate the International Women's Day, and also join government and partners to take stock of efforts put in place to guide gender responsiveness of science, technology, and engineering, and mathematics and information technologies in the country. We believe that commemoration and celebration of the International Women's Day will provide an opportunity for us as a country to reflect on the unfinished agenda and lay concrete strategies to accelerate progress on gender equality and women's empowerment, as well as explore the impact of digital gender gap on widening economic and social inequalities.
ICT facilitated gender-based violence and also spotlight the importance of bringing women and other marginalized groups into technology, which results into creative solutions that enhance greater potential for innovation that meet women's needs and promote gender equality. Our call to action as Parliament, we have a number of them, but these are a few to mention. Parliament to pass and ensure implementation of gender equality laws aimed at protecting rights of women and girls in STEM, in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and ICT, such as Sexual Offences Bill 2022, to also increase investment for advancement of gender equality in innovation, technological change, and education in digital age, through budget allocation to ensure teaching of sciences, through equipping laboratories, enrolling more qualified female science teachers, and the men as well, because we don't want to leave the men behind. To ensure mindset change in schools through career guidance and the importance of having more women and girls involved in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. To conduct oversight checks on schools in districts to monitor uptake of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and ICT by girls, identify challenges being faced, and also draw countrywide strategies on how to increase the number of women and girls participating in this field of sciences. To conduct constituency public education programs on career guidance to encourage women and girls to understand the importance of embracing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in their day-to-day operations. This will help us solve quite a number of issues that relate to gender-based violence. Being involved in science and technology, this also comes with a number of challenges or leading causes that actually exacerbate it. And one of them is teenage pregnancies. There are a number of girls who usually intend to pursue sciences, but if they get pregnant before the time that they aimed at getting pregnant, just know they will not complete education. So we have to address this challenge of teenage pregnancies in Uganda and the whole world. Uganda is one of the countries, actually it has the highest teenage pregnancy in East Africa with a rate of 25%. This means as women, as Ugandans, we have quite a big role to play to see that these girls attain the kind of goal that they have always aimed at. There is no girl who goes out of education and remains the same. However much we have girls, again, going back to school, as we have always encouraged them, that if you get pregnant, it does not mean that is the end of life. Yes, that is good, but there is that scar that always remains at their minds, and they become psychologically tortured. So let us fight as mothers and all parents to see that we prevent our children from becoming pregnant before they finish school. The moment we have girls continue in school, we shall have low of these teenage pregnancies. But it is the other way around also. It is vice versa. It can happen that a girl drops out of school just because they have gotten pregnant. And it can also happen that a girl gets pregnant just because the parents actually refuse to take them back to school, or they lost their parents due to a number of challenges we know we face in Uganda. So we have to fight at all angles to see that we do not have girls drop out of school due to teenage pregnancy, or girls drop out of school and then become pregnant. We have a number of issues that come as a result of teenage pregnancies. Most of the maternal and child deaths that we hear in Uganda come as a result of girls becoming pregnant before age. At that time, as we all know, our country, Uganda, is a resource-constrained country. And so if these mothers go to the various health facilities that we have, with all these complications that come following teenage pregnancies, there are high chances of these girls losing their lives or losing their babies that they are trying to bring back to life. So as Parliament, as WOPA, we want to fight as much as possible to see that we also create adolescent spaces in the health facilities where these girls will go and get quite better care that is really aligned to their age and the kind of lifestyle that they are going through. So as WOPA, we commit to fighting this teenage pregnancy through all avenues that we can, through legislation, through oversight, through the representation that we always do, as we have already seen WOPA fighting the ICT, gender-based violence that comes up. As we all embrace this ICT, like the Honorable Chair said, we have a lot of work to do in order to see that this ICT development that comes up is not detrimental to our children. So as parents, as Ugandans, let us do all that it takes for us to see that we reduce teenage pregnancies. Let the parents be parents. Let the mothers be mothers, not just be people who create children and then leave them back home. Let the fathers also take their responsibilities. As we have already said, WOPA will not be able to deliver all that we want to deliver without you men. Please join us and we fight teenage pregnancy. Every girl that we see moving out pregnant, just know there is a man that has played part in that, be it a teenage boy or an adult man. So let's take part in that.
Welcome back from that insight. Those are members of the WOPA, that is Uganda Women Parliamentary Association. They really want to advocate for the rights, the rights of women via technology and science, and the issues of teenage pregnancy. It is something that they really want to fight, and they're calling on all stakeholders to join hands in fighting, because most of these teenage girls that get pregnant, they have the capacity to do sciences and be better women in future. Rona?
Of course, that was the insight there of members of parliament, but I would like to bring you up to speed to the statistics in 2021 that mentioned that about 3.7 billion women do not have access to internet. That's really quite absurd, because that's a big population, and these are women in rural areas who have accustomed themselves to traditional family roles, that they have not gotten the chance to equip themselves with digital literacy. And we also know that the biggest challenge to why the digital literacy have not grown is because there is lack of a representation of models. These models that are in tech, or the women in tech, have not been celebrated to encourage the other women that would want to take part to be in the industry. I think that is really discouraging, and I think the stakeholders concerned should really look up to this and see what they can do in regards to this. The technology gap is really big. Aside from even Women's Day, we do know that, and we should access that. From what we were talking about, me and Hanifa, we said the cost of internet is, in fact, it's laughable. It's funny, because how can Tanzania have a cheaper internet, Rwanda, Kenya, and we have the most expensive, and we're telling some people that they should wait up to 5 years to have a realization of a decrease. That is really absurd, and I think it should really be uncalled for, and that the government should come together and they see how best they can equip, because this thing should not go away with just words and celebrations, and they just go to childhood. I think some of these suggestions should really be taken into consideration, and if we need to see progress, then we need to see change.
The problem in Uganda, the problem that Uganda has, we talk about something and we don't implement it. We just talk about it. Tomorrow we forget quickly. Yet these are the things that affect Ugandans on a daily basis. This time around, please, government, when you say that you are going to make internet cheaper for everyone, let it bite. Let it start acting. Let us see some results. But then it is only when you bring about taxation things that for them they start acting immediately. But when it comes to issues that affect the person, the ordinary Ugandan, you just talk about it and then say we discuss it in parliament, you pass resolutions, and then parliament says we have passed this, and they pass a motion on something, we've passed this, and things don't bite at the end of the day. It does not really make sense for us as Ugandans. Like, things are discussed and then they are forgotten. We really need to focus on the the livelihood, on the betterment of all Ugandans and the women in general. Because women, it is not we are not talking about it because it is Women's Day, but women are the breadwinners of any family. We know what women do. We know what we do as women. These things affect the woman. At the end of the day, these are things that really need to be implemented. The internet, please. The cost is too much. It is really too much for our people, and it must be acted on.
Truly, gender divide is amplified as one of the key or drivers of gender inequality, of course amplified by digital revolution. So Hanifa, as we go on with the rest of the day and as we head to the end of Smart Means Business, and we know that the celebrations of International Women's Day for Uganda particularly are going to be at Kazo Primary School in Chiruhura district.
Yeah.
That is where His Excellency and other government officials will be celebrating the International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Of course, we wish them fruitful deliberations, and we hope from those suggestions that they come up with this day are implemented. That is the most important thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Implementing. This not just talk about things. Every year we celebrate. These celebrations don't really make sense when you keep celebrating and then you're not acting on what you're discussing. It does not really make sense to us who are watching, who are Ugandans, who are being affected by these things. So when you talk about something and act on it, it really makes sense, and it makes us enjoy our country as Uganda.
So what are you going to be doing aside from producing a story in regards to today's? Are you going to do something to celebrate yourself?
Definitely, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, me personally, these technology things, I'm just getting there. I think I'm somewhere. I'm at 40%. I'm going to try to look at other women, the women in leadership, especially the members of parliament. How far are they with the technology? Are they on Twitter? Are they on how have they used the technology to help them develop and better their lives?
I've always been interested. Thank you there for sharing your work plan for today. For me, I've always been interested in learning about financial markets, knowing how to, because they tell me there is money in those things. So I've always wanted to know, how do you trade financial markets, and also there's fraud, but I would like to know, maybe going forward as we celebrate today, I should be able to learn. I think what to, and maybe start trading in bonds and financial markets, because they want stocks.
Yeah, the stocks.
Yeah. So I hope that every woman out there celebrates today to the brim, and you should realize your importance in society. If people cannot rate you, please rate yourself. And if you are not invited, then build or bring a seat on that table, because we need to move forward and we need to amplify our voices. And to do that, we need to believe in ourselves. Courage is the most important thing as a woman, and confidence is an ecton of all beauty, if I could say that. So happy International Women's Day. Please do something to celebrate yourself. And for men that recognize and celebrate International Women's Day with women, we recognize you and we appreciate you, and thank you for being a good example for the society. As always, my name is Rona Nahabwe, and I thank you for the pleasure of your company. Have a very good morning, and this was Smart Means Business.
Smart 24, driving business.
Up next on Smart 24 TV.